always gotta come up, man.
Oh yeah, let me.
Perfect.
Stack Nation, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen.
Champions.
So first of all, actually, before we jump into this thing, I just want to take a moment out to thank each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for liking the videos. Please share them, like the shorts as well. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us.
We are growing.
Absolutely. Slowly but surely. It's about gradual progress. It's not always about instant gratification, like what we're about to talk about today.
Tell them.
So there was a survey that Coinbase did. Coinbase hired a company. I think it's called Morning Consult to do what would you say?
Public survey.
A study, a public study. You know what I mean? And essentially, the bottom line of this whole situation is that most Americans in the financial system, most adults in the American financial system are unhappy with the current structure of the financial environment. And they feel that there needs to be a massive change.
Mm-hmm.
And even more interestingly, they think that Bitcoin and crypto are an interesting option for the future. I want to read this first paragraph here. It says a study conducted by Morning Consult on behalf of Coinbase examined the perceptions of the global financial system and how US adults and cryptocurrency investors view the future of the cryptocurrency market. It found that Americans believe the current financial system needs to be updated. I will come back to that. You want something to be updated even though you don't understand the current one. Anyway, and there is optimism about owning Bitcoin as we head into the future. What are your thoughts on that one?
Sure. Tell Coinbase that. All that junk coins that we're having in their exchange. Well, first and first, right?
Right.
As you can see there in the logo, red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
American as. I think we did the video about this. We did the video about this 7 months ago. We said Bitcoin was American as F.
Yes, it is American as food.
You know, and this is the reality. And this survey that Coinbase just did through Morning Consult, they outsourced, proves that is that once or the Americans that think they understand money or
Right.
that invest understand the current ecosystem of the financial markets, it's corrupt. SEC all the way to FCTC, all the way to the feds. They understand the corruption because we've been in the stock market space,
Yeah.
trading. All it takes is one person to just come out and say some crap, some research company,
Jerome.
or
No, is it
Jerome Powell,
Is it
yeah,
Jerome?
the god of fiat, to say something to destroy your option chain, you know. And they realize that and like, wait a second, does it have to be this way? Or to have your people in Congress and your legislators trading or buying into a position before they announce the news about something coming out. They see that corruption in the system and they believe that being on a blockchain or being in the Bitcoin space will allow that transparency or that accountability to come out. So these people understand that. But as we're trying to fix the issue, which is money, they've now brought along an extra bag, which is cryptocurrency. And it seems like the Americans are looking at Bitcoin from a point of let's make money, not from a point of let's get freedom. That's kind of what I'm reading from this paragraph right now, just right away.
Absolutely. Well, I think when I read this, right, I think I have a different perspective on this as well. Here's the thing. I think, first of all, most Americans agree that the things like the boom and bust cycles of the market manipulation, banks getting bailed out, these are fundamental things that Americans are still all maybe let's not say pissed off about.
Questioning
But
why should it be that way?
Exactly, but they find it unfair to them. So with that then, okay, there is definitely frustration when you look at inflation and everything else like that has been going on. there is definitely frustration amongst the people, and when people are frustrated about something, after a while they start looking for alternatives, right? What I gather from this article and what I think is positive about this article is that when people start looking for alternatives, the good news is that 90% of the time, right, when you turn to find out what alternatives there are, you will end up in the arena of Bitcoin and unfortunately crypto, right? This clearly reinforces that idea that Bitcoin is a threat to the traditional financial system. That's the first thing I'm looking at there. Secondly, people are frustrated about this system, and I think a massive part of why they're frustrated about it is the fact that they do not even understand it. There is a lot of complications in the fiat system. They have derivatives. They have derivatives of derivatives. They have synthetic derivatives. They have synthetic whatever else. What is there? Synthetic futures of derivatives and derivatives of synthetic futures, derivatives. Listen, all these terms that these people come out with on the fly to sound smart. But the bottom line is accounting and economics is not complicated. You're either adding or you're subtracting or dividing.
It's a simple ledger, man. Debit, negative,
that is it.
Credit. Yep.
Right? There's debit and there is credit.
Yep.
There is no synthetic debit. That is an imagination of.
No, it's just an IOU into the future.
You know what I mean?
That's not even happened yet, but you're trading into the future.
Exactly.
Futures market.
So most Americans do not go to college for economics. This is why they do not understand this. This is why it is frustrating. And this is why Bitcoin is even much more, has that more of a potential to succeed, because people are frustrated and they're looking for other options. And right now, Bitcoin is the most effective, most reasonable, and most simple option to jump on and get pushing. Now, speaking of understanding things, it's unfortunate. It seems like it's always difficult for people to understand Bitcoin. But then I wonder, will people have a hard time understanding Bitcoin if they don't understand the fiat system? What are your thoughts?
They can understand the fiat system because even those of us that studied economics in school, after some point, right, you will start having to add or remove variables because there's just way too much macro variables in the system for you to think that you can properly predict the future, which is what's going on right now. I was reading a book. I'm still reading the book this weekend, and it's talking about how our children are sent to school to be worker bees of the system and not to be free mind thinkers or to understand money. So the system is designed in such a way for you not to understand money, so that this macro flips, which we see in the old inflation rate, how inflation is calculated, how they can remove one variable and add another one just to adjust to make things very confusing. That is what's going on in the system. So when you ask that question, it's basically the system is designed that way for you not to understand money. You don't go to school to learn money, because if you learn money, you understand, why is my dad in debt? Why is my biggest debt taxes and my mortgage and car or my school loan, right? People then say, okay, then if you implement Bitcoin, wouldn't you still have debt? The answer is the current system will still need to be fixed. That is why Bitcoin is trying to come and limit that kind of spending in the future, so that we don't have to continue to live in a debt-based system. Right now, the system is based on debt because we constantly have to expand the economy. And as we expand the economy, we have to keep spending money that we don't have. Bitcoin forces you to live within that economy, but still grow at the same time.
It also allows you to opt out of the current system. So I agree with you. 100% relevant. Listen, a total of 74% of American adults, I don't know where they passed this survey because I never received if we're going up to 70. I think if we survey 74% of Americans, I should at least be in there. You know, how did they miss me?
But we say crypto investors, the general population, So you understand that the folks that want to make money quick, that think crypto is a way to get rich quick, that at those 74, which is still a pretty high number.
I mean, look, man. I think that we need to amplify the. I mean, whatever it is, how they did this survey, I think they just did like a sample set and then
Oh, then use
did
that.
like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
exponential madness.
yeah.
Anyway, 74% of American apparently thinks that the financial system needs a complete overhaul or major changes. Right, minor changes. Those who believe it needs minor changes, about 20%. Those who believe it does not need change is about 2%. I think that is just Charlie Munger and his
The 1%, not 0.5% people.
No, those 2% in there specifically is just Charlie Munger and the other guy, his friend Buffett. Yeah. Then below him now, where that 5% is where the rest of the other people come in, including Peter Schiff.
Yeah. Actually, Peter Schiff does believe the system needs to be changed. His thought is to go back to the gold standard.
Listen, I don't know if Peter Schiff was pushing wheelbarrow back in the days with Jesus, carrying gold and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
I thought that was Munger.
it does not work. Umonga. Oh no. Umonga was building the cross back in the day.
To crucify Jesus.
Carpentry, Yes. That's what that guy was at.
You know what I find quite interesting about all of this?
What is that?
Is that the financial system as is
Yeah.
understand that they are reaching the end.
Mm-hmm.
So they are already working to implement the switchover, which is a competition against. They call it a competition, which is the CBDCs.
Yes.
It's like, oh, wait a second. This fiat system is not going to work. It's going to crash eventually. So let's go ahead and implement a CBDC. But as they implement the CBDCs, they're actually making the situation worse because they're trying to now transition. We call it the transition of currencies, right? The transition of global currencies. Mm-hmm. We're going to go back to a World War II type situation where it's going to be a currency war again. Mm-hmm. Before we went back to settling on using the US dollar, it's how is my CBDC going to compete with your CBDC?
Absolutely. Well, I guess it's going to really come down to a competition of freedom because at the end of the day, exchange of value is basic.
Simple.
Not having your funds being debased is a basic concept. So if you're debasing your own currency within your country, then
Jerome Powell is doing that right now.
Right.
It's forcing people to go out of work.
Exactly.
Destroying the real estate market.
Exactly.
Destroying the car industry.
Yeah.
Just intentionally debase. Yeah.
So I guess at that point then you now create competition for other currencies that are not being debased.
Yep.
But why do you want to play this game when you could just get Bitcoin and then it does not matter who is doing what?
Nobody controls it.
Again, like I said, it allows you to opt out of this buffoonery. Final thoughts, Double O.
Well, the American people have spoken. I'm just trying to say is that the global world has spoken even more than the American people, which is we're tired of the oppression of the fiat system, and that we want a better solution. And this is showing us that people are ready for that solution. They did not vote for CBDCs. This survey did not say Americans want CBDCs. The world is saying they don't want CBDCs. The world is saying they want a change.
Yeah.
And the solution and that change is Bitcoin. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, follow us, of course. Subscribe to the channel, STAKK here. STAKKFin on Twitter. We're on Facebook, STAKKFin as well. Hanging out with the old people. Last week I sent a message to Charlie Munger, but I think he's still trying to find a reply button. Something like that. Oh man, we're still banned on Instagram, STAKKFin. But Instagram, at some point, please reinstate our account, man, because I just don't have the energy to go create a new account right now. You're on some bullshit. Spotify, STAKK as well. Until next time, brazen out.
Double O.